Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you don't know, I'm Joanna from JoJotastic, and recently I reached out to a bunch of my Instagram followers and just posed the question of, if you could ask me anything, what would it be? So many of you guys wrote in some really amazing questions, so I wanted to take today to film a fun video, answer some of your questions, and see if I can't inspire you to ask even more questions. So the first question comes from Rachel Nickel. She says, or asks, how do you keep yourself inspired and motivated as a blogger? How do you stay motivated because it's a source of income? What about the early days? How did you grow your following? Was it organic or did you market yourself? Oh my gosh, this is a loaded question. Lots of questions actually. So I think, let's start with the motivation aspect of it. I own a home, I have a lot of expenses, and that can often be my motivation for making sure that I'm on it, that I get up at a certain time, that I'm in the studio doing what I need to do on a daily basis. I also am just an extremely driven person and quite type A. I always make sure that I'm working really hard, probably to a fault. I'm a bit of a workaholic. And I think it also, the motivation sort of ties into the fact that I love what I do. I love getting to create content for you guys every day, and it's fun for me. So a lot of the times it doesn't feel like work. I also am really strict with my time, so I schedule things out and I do what I like to call batching. So I learned this from my friend Erica, but essentially I'll set a timer on my phone for 15 minutes and get as much as I can, like maybe responding to emails within that 15 minutes, and then after that I take a break or I move on to another task. But it sort of inspires me to be really focused in that time, crank through it as much as I can, and then I can move on to something else or take a break. How do I stay inspired? Oh, this is a tough one. I travel a lot. I really love finding different sources of inspiration anywhere. It was really tough when I was recovering from a broken leg because I couldn't travel, and so during that time I was reading a lot. I actually watch a lot of TV, which I don't know if I am proud to admit that or not, but I watch a lot of TV, I read a lot, I subscribe to a lot of magazines. Print is not dead, and I'm just sort of, my eyes are just always open. And I also make sure to take time away from social media and the blog and the internet just in general. Sean and I will go on lots of camping trips to the mountains and road trips and that sort of thing, because to me it's really important to give my brain that time off, but then also like think about stuff in the background while I'm there. I think some of my best ideas come from when I'm least expecting it. How did I grow my following? Was it organic? So in terms of growing my following, with Pinterest I got really lucky. I was early to adopt Pinterest and it just grew and grew from there. So one of my tips is anytime that I find out about a new social platform, I immediately sign up. I make sure to get JoJotastic on all of my social channels. I sign up and just research and research and research those new channels. Potentially they might be the next big one. In terms of growing my following, it's Instagram, I guess. It's been pretty organic. You know, I'll do giveaways on the blog sometimes, and that has helped to get people excited enough to follow me. But then I will also do, I engage a lot with other accounts on Instagram. You know, I make sure that I am following and commenting and liking on other people's photos, and really making sure that I find new people to follow that are exciting and applicable to my niche. Okay, so for our next question, if you could give your past self any advice tips that could be useful to your current viewers pursuing similar career paths, what would it be? This is silly, but if I could change anything, I would probably get on Instagram sooner. I really wish I hadn't had a private profile when it first launched, that I was more curated about what I had put out, and just more focused. I didn't really realize the value of Instagram at that point, and so I was sort of a late adopter, and I think because of that my following isn't as high as it should be. It's not as like reflective of what my other social channels, do you hear Noodle, are. And so that's actually one of my biggest regrets. As like, to give you guys advice based on that though, again, like I would say hop on social media early. Be sure to really think of your brand as you are approaching new social media channels. Like now everything I do is always with my brand in mind. So making sure that the colors are consistent, font choices, the imagery, even the topics I cover, you know. So right now, one of my niches is small spaces. And so if past Joanna had signed up for Instagram now, I would make my account much more about small spaces versus selfies. Okay, another question, and this one, I'm a little nervous about answering this. How would you describe your brand? Okay, my brand has morphed a lot over the years, and I think part of why I launched the blog was because I was designing for Anthropology at the time, and my aesthetic was, like, I was able to design into that type of aesthetic, but it wasn't really my own. So I launched the blog just kind of as an outlet for that creative difference. I would say it's definitely changed over time. This is gonna be controversial. I'm kind of bored of boho. Like, it's really gotten to be too much. Are you bored of boho? Yeah, I thought so. It's sort of gotten to be too much. Like the macrame, the layers, the patterns, just everything. It's just, personally, I've been feeling uninspired by it, and there are people who still do boho really, really well, but it's become quite ubiquitous, and it's almost like the waters have gotten muddy, and it's just not as exciting as it used to be. For me, I've found that with my style, and then this translates into my brand, I'm feeling more like pared down. I want that white space. I want it to feel more like there's room to think and feel and respond, as opposed to just a bombardment of images and layers and textures and da-da-da-da, like a lot of stuff. It's like clearing the visual chaos. And so even in my home, Noodle sees the cat, even in my home, I've just been, you know, removing things from here and there, putting stuff away, clearing surfaces, and it just feels really, really good. Within my brand, I would say that I'm very focused on small spaces. I love, 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 love troubleshooting ways to make your life better, even if you don't have a lot of square footage. My house is 640 square feet. It's really tiny. 2 people live here, 2 dogs, 1 cat, and 2 chickens. They don't come inside, but you know what I mean. And so we have to be really smart about ways that we store things, what we bring into our home, and just what our atmosphere feels like. And I think maybe that's why boho isn't feeling as good to me right now. When you live in a small space, it's really hard to surround yourself with so much stuff and pattern and color. It can feel cloying and claustrophobic. And so I know that none of these are really like words to describe my brand that could be like buzzwords or bullet points, but I think my brand is, I really want my brand to come across and feel like a more thoughtful, curated experience of living in a small space. And also, like, my team offers amazing things like DIYs, recipes, all sorts of stuff. So I hope you guys find it inspiring as well. This one's really funny. This comes from Sunshine Daisy's Buttermellow, and she asks, when are you going to blow up like Oh Joy or Wit and Delight and have stuff in Target? But really, I'm mostly curious about where you would like to be career-wise in 5 years and what your goals are. I mean, she hit the nail on the head. I would love to have a product line. I used to be a product designer, specifically textiles, so I think it would be really fun to go full circle and have a product line. I think that'd be awesome. In terms of 5-year goals, wow. I always think of my goals in terms of like personal goals. Like I want to have a second home in 5 to 7 years, I want it to be a mountain home, but I also want, I want to continue blogging about home decor, renovations, share even more with you guys of our before and afters. I'm really hoping the kitchen and bath could be done this year. Fingers crossed. With the blog, I don't know. It's kind of funny because it feels like I've sort of happened upon this and I don't know where it's gonna go. I don't know what this world of blogging is going to be like in 5 years. So I think my goal is to really just continue to evolve, stay on top of my business, stay on top of what's new and fresh and exciting, and in the meantime just continue bringing awesome content to you guys and only doing stuff that inspires and excites me. So I think I answered like 5 questions and I'm really excited about this series. I would love to keep answering questions for you guys. So if you have more questions, be sure to leave them below or message me. I'm at JoJotastic on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. I think Facebook is jojotastic.blog. But anyways, I'll leave it all down below and keep asking your questions. I'd love to keep interacting with you guys this way and I really appreciate you being excited about this. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned to see even more videos. Mwah.